Assume you are already fulfilled. I am already a fulfilled existence. As I am love, I am light. And yet I forget my own completeness. Failing to satisfy every desire, I am ruled by them. Lose confidence and lament my life. The thought I lack something is what makes my life painful. No one can fulfill every desire while holding on to them all. Do I want to fulfill every desire? Or do I want to live a good life with a peaceful mind? As if I truly believe my life is already fulfilled, I can let go of the desires I do not need. As I let go of desire, I begin to notice what I already have. Life starts to shine, and I begin to see who I truly am. The sacred truth of completeness and the illusion of forgetting. Every morning we open our eyes and reach instinctively for our smartphones, checking messages and scrolling through photos of other people's lives. We drink our morning coffee while mentally running through a long list of tasks, feeling a subtle, nagging sensation that we are somehow falling behind. We buy new clothes, chase after promotions at work, and seek warm praise from friends, constantly hoping that the next achievement will make us feel truly complete. Yet, like drinking salty seawater to quench a sudden afternoon thirst, each small victory brings only a moment of relief before the familiar emptiness returns. In the quiet hours of late nights, when the screen finally goes dark and the world outside falls completely silent, a deeper memory gently awakens within us. Long before we ever acquired a personal name, a social title, or a heavy bag of worldly ambitions, our spirit was already whole. We were brought into this vast physical world not as empty, impoverished vessels needing to be filled, but as pure love and radiant light itself. Imagine a majestic, timeless sun shining high in the clear sky, casting its warm brilliance infinitely across the quiet morning ocean below. The sun does not look at the passing clouds to ask for approval, nor does it search outside itself to find a warmth it does not already possess. By turning our attention away from external distractions, we gently remember the boundless, undisturbed wealth that has always lived inside our own heart. The weight of boundless wanting and the loss of inner peace. The moment we forget our original fulfillment, we become helpless slaves to the relentless, noisy demands of our temporary ego. We live under the painful impression that our happiness is constantly held hostage by the very next desire waiting in line to be satisfied. We chase after phantom promises of contentment, mistakenly believing that collecting just one more trophy will finally quiet our anxious, racing mind. When a single cherished expectation slips through our fingers, our fragile confidence shatters, and we fall into bitter regret over a life we judge as inadequate. Picture a weary traveler standing alone upon a cold, windy beach, frantically trying to catch and keep every passing wave with his bare hands. He runs back and forth across the wet sand until his physical strength is completely exhausted, weeping in frustration as the ocean water continuously flows away. The suffering of human existence is never caused by the world itself, but by the heavy, impossible weight of our own unexamined wanting. When our mind is completely consumed by the desperate need to control every outcome, the simple, beautiful reality of present existence is totally lost. We walk upon a fertile, generous earth feeling perpetually poor, completely blind to the magnificent feast that is already spread out before us. Recognizing the subtle cage of unchecked desire is the very first step toward reclaiming the calm, unshakable dignity of our true spirit. The illusion of lack and the seed of human suffering. The persistent, subtle belief that we lack something essential is the quiet root from which all our emotional pain, and spiritual grief naturally grows. Modern society constantly feeds this painful illusion, whispering from every commercial and street corner that we are somehow insufficient just as we are. We are conditioned from childhood to believe that true peace lies somewhere in the far future, accessible only after we fix every flaw and gain more external approval. This subtle feeling of internal poverty creates a constant, painful contraction in the chest, keeping us trapped in perpetual fear, competition, and strife. In ancient Zen traditions, wise elders often tell the classic story of a beggar who spends his entire life weeping in destitute, misery on a dusty road. He begs passing travelers for tiny copper coins to survive another day, completely unaware that a vast chest of pure gold lies buried directly beneath his feet. He suffers terribly not because he is actually poor, but because he believes a lie about his condition and refuses to look deeper within his own home. We live precisely like that exhausted beggar whenever we believe in lack, searching frantically outward for the peace that already resides in our heart. The moment we stop defining ourselves by what we think is missing, the dark, heavy shadow of unnecessary suffering dissolves into thin air. Our life becomes light, spacious, and joyous once again, revealing the undisturbed harmony that was merely hidden beneath our mental noise. The impossible burden of desire and the choice of the heart. No human being upon this earth can possibly fulfill every passing desire while holding tightly to all of them with a nervous, white-knuckled grip. The physical universe is far too vast, fluid, and unpredictable to conform to the narrow, ever-changing preferences of our small personal ego. To insist that life must grant our every wish is like demanding that the wild mountain wind blow on us. Why in the direction we personally approve? Standing at this quiet spiritual crossroad, a vital and piercing choice must be made in the absolute silence of our own conscious heart. Do we truly wish to spend our brief, priceless years upon this earth frantically chasing after every shiny illusion that catches our eye? Or do we desire something infinitely deeper and more enduring? A good life anchored in the unshakable sanctuary of a truly peaceful mind. This choice between chaotic acquisition and undisturbed tranquility is the most sacred decision man's spirit will ever make in this lifetime. External abundance without internal peace is merely a gilded prison that keeps the soul in permanent, quiet captivity behind golden bars. By consciously choosing a peaceful mind over endless craving, we step off the exhausting treadmill of wanting and align ourselves with the harmony of nature. Our spirit then rests comfortably in the timeless understanding that true wealth is found not in having more but in needing less. The freedom of letting go and the unbounded relief. When we truly believe in our heart that our existence is already completely fulfilled, the act of letting go becomes entirely natural, light, and effortless. We no longer need to clutch tightly to artificial desires, like an exhausted swimmer clinging to heave. Why iron weights out of deep fear of sinking? We gently open our tightly closed hands, allowing every unnecessary ambition, every petty demand, and every anxious expectation to fall softly to the earth. Releasing what we do not need is never a painful sacrifice or a bitter loss, but an overwhelming return to pure, unadorned, and boundless joy. Consider a wild bird that has spent its entire life sitting inside a small iron cage, believing the metal bars were its only protection from the unknown. The moment it realizes that the surrounding sky is completely safe and infinitely wide, it simply opens its wings and steps into the fresh, open air. It does not mourn the loss of its narrow metal cage, because it has embraced the vast, unrestricted freedom that was always its true birthplace. When we drop the heavy baggage of the ego, the tight knot in our chest gracefully melts away like morning frost under the warm rays of the sun. And we begin to walk upon this earth with a light, unhurried step, moving harmoniously with the deep, a silent rhythm of the present moment. By clearing the crowded room of our heart, we create the pristine, quiet space where genuine peace can finally come home and rest forever. The awakening of attention and the treasures in plain sight. As we gently release the exhausting grip of unnecessary desire, our long-blinded eyes begin to open to the miraculous beauty right in front of us. When the racing mind stops frantically searching the horizon for something more, the immediate world around us awakens with extraordinary, vivid detail. We step outside onto the pavement and notice, perhaps for the very first time, the subtle dance of sunlight filtering through the vibrant green leaves of a roadside tree. The simple sound of water filling a glass in the quiet kitchen early in the morning transforms into a beautiful, soothing melody of pure existence. We realize that the rich fulfillment we spent decades desperately searching for in worldly success was already present in these humble, forgotten moments. It is like walking through our own lived home for years in total darkness, constantly complaining about the cold, barren emptiness of the space. The moment we flick the light switch of quiet awareness, we discover that the room was filled all along with exquisite artwork, warm blankets, and priceless books. We do not need to journey to distant mountains or collect vast fortunes to experience the absolute, the sweetness of a truly meaningful human life. By stepping out of the endless cycle of wanting, we unlock the silent doorway to the rich, infinite feast that is already spread out before us. Our daily existence becomes a continuous, quiet celebration, where every single breath is received as a priceless gift from the universe. The radiant shine of life and the beauty of the present life begins to shine with an unshakable, luminous clarity when we no longer demand that the present moment conform to our restless preference. When we stop treating today merely as a stressful stepping stone toward an imagined future success, every ordinary second naturally turns into gold. A quiet evening meal shared with a loved one, a silent walk along a damp rain-touched street, or simply sitting alone in a warm room becomes deeply sacred. The heavy, gray veil of chronic anxiety softly lifts from our spirit, revealing the vibrant, pristine colors of a world that is completely alive. Consider how a clear, still pond effortlessly reflects the grand beauty of the high mountains, the passing white clouds, and the vast night sky above. When the surface of the water is violently disturbed by the constant thrown stones of craving and fee, the true reflection becomes completely shattered and lost. When the water is allowed to rest in absolute silence, the entire sky appears within its peaceful depths, without any effort or struggle whatsoever. Our life shines not because we added new possessions, but because we finally allowed the muddy waters of our anxious mind to become still. We begin to inhabit our hours with a spacious, graceful presence, walking lightly upon this earth without the heavy burden of constant expectation. The radiant light of life was never absent from our world. We had simply closed our eyes to chase after the fleeting shadows of our own desires. The clear mirror of becoming and the essence of self. When the noisy storm of endless craving subsides, we finally begin to see with crystalline clarity who we truly and deeply are beneath the surface. For so long, we mistakenly defined ourselves by our changing job titles, our bank accounts, our passing moods, and the fluctuating opinions of other people. We wore heavy, exhausting masks to impress the world, terrified that if we took them off, there would be nothing of value remaining underneath. Yet, when we sit in the absolute quiet of an unburdened mind, the artificial identity we constructed so carefully softly crumbles away into dust. We discover that we are not the fragile, anxious ego constantly fighting for survival, but the vast, quiet space that beholds all things with love, Imagine a master sculptor approaching a large, rough block of marble with a heavy hammer and a sharp chisel in his steady hands. He does not add any foreign materials to the stone, nor does he attempt to force something unnatural onto the unyielding surface. He simply chips away the unnecessary rock, revealing the magnificent, breathtaking figure that was already resting quietly inside the stone all along. By dropping the artificial desires that never belonged to us, we gently peel away the false layers that obscured our original luminous spirit. We stand completely naked before reality, meeting ourselves for the very first time as an immortal expression of pure consciousness and peace. The embrace of original wholeness and the harmonious path, living from the deep realization of our original fulfillment, transforms our relationship with every single human being we meet along our journey. When we no longer view other people as instruments to satisfy our subtle desires or sources to boost our fragile vanity, genuine love naturally blooms. We listen to a friend's quiet grief without offering rushed, unasked-for advice. Content simply to offer the warm, undisturbed sanctuary of our full presence. We walk through the busy, chaotic streets of modern cities without feeling threatened, competing, or isolated from the moving human ocean around us. Because our own internal reservoir is overflowing with pure peace, we become a gentle spring from which weary souls can quench their deep spiritual thirst. We realize that the highest form of human contribution is not building towering monuments or winning loud applause, but radiating a calm, unshakable peace. Our daily actions cease to be desperate attempts to prove our self-worth, becoming instead spontaneous expressions of gratitude and unconditional kindness. We move through the changing seasons of youth, aging, joy, and sorrow with an open, relaxed heart, completely anchored in our true nature. The deep conflict between who we are and who we think we ought to be dissolves completely, leaving only the quiet beauty of pure being. We live as a living testament to the truth that a human soul, once returned to its original wholeness, becomes a radiant light for the entire world. The eternal homecoming and the resting of the soul. At the end of all our spiritual seeking and worldly striving, we arrive back at the very place where our journey originally began so long ago. We realize with a gentle, joyful smile that the peace we crossed distant oceans and read countless books to find was never low, sent or far away. It was always sitting quietly inside our own chest, waiting patiently for us to stop running and simply come home to who we already are. We step into each new day with hands completely open, ready to welcome whatever life brings with quiet courage, profound dignity, and deep trust. When success comes, we enjoy it lightly like a passing summer breeze, knowing it does not add anything essential to our already complete nature. When failure or loss touches our life, we weep our honest tears without falling into despair, knowing that our core remains untouched and whole. We live fully, love deeply, and walk upon this earth with an unhurried, peaceful step, totally liberated from the ancient nightmare of lack. Every breath becomes a silent prayer of gratitude, every moment a sacred sanctuary, and every encounter a meeting of light with light. We rest comfortably in the unshakable truth that we are already love, already light, and forever fulfilled in the infinite embrace of existence. Our long, frantic search is finally over, and the spirit rests in its eternal, undisturbed, and infinitely beautiful homes. Thank you for spending these moments with this channel. As if these words brought a little more peace into your day, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more quiet reflections. Until next time, take care of your heart.